Gas station horror. Some nights stay with you forever. Not because of what happened, but because of what almost happened. My name is David, and I need to tell you about the night a stranger walked into my gas station, covered in blood. This was years ago, long before security cameras watched every corner of every room. I worked the graveyard shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., alone, at a convenience store sitting in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Most nights, nothing happened. Just me, a magazine, and the low, distant hum of old fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. That hum was the only sound I'd heard in hours. Then, the door chimed. A man walked in. Tall, 30s maybe, broad-shouldered. The kind of build that makes a room feel smaller. I looked up from my magazine, and then I froze. He was covered in blood. Not a little, not a scratch. Covered. A massive dark stain spread across his chest. Streaks ran down his arms, his face, like something out of a horror film. My brain couldn't process it. It didn't fit anything I'd ever seen before. But the blood wasn't even the worst part. It was his eyes. They were empty. No panic, no shame, no awareness. He looked perfectly relaxed, like he was just a regular guy stopping in for a late-night snack. I couldn't stop staring, and he noticed. Of course he noticed. He looked right at me, and then he smiled. And in the calmest voice I've ever heard, he said, "Don't worry, it's not my blood." As if that were supposed to comfort me. As if those 5 words explained anything at all. My mind was screaming. This man just killed someone. He might kill you next. Do not move. Do not panic. Act normal. So I nodded, like he'd just commented on the weather, and I buried my face back into the magazine. He walked through the aisles, slowly, casually, grabbed a few things, came to the counter. I rang him up without looking him in the eyes. He paid in cash, said nothing, and walked out. The door chimed. The moment I heard his engine start outside, I grabbed the phone and dialed 911. I told the dispatcher everything. The blood, the man, the eyes. I didn't know what had happened, but I knew something had happened. The dispatcher was still asking questions when the door chimed again. I looked up, and there he was, the same man, standing right in the doorway, and this time, the emptiness in his eyes was gone, replaced by something far worse. Rage. I hung up the phone, but it was too late. He had seen me through the window. He stormed up to the counter. "Did you call the cops?" I said no. He didn't believe me. His voice rose. He started cursing, telling me to mind my business. I raised my hands, tried to stay calm, but calm was gone. He launched himself across the counter, not climbed, launched. He tackled me to the floor and wrapped his hands around my throat. I couldn't breathe. I'd never been in a fight in my life. I was kicking, scratching, biting, doing anything I could just to stay alive. His blood, someone else's blood, smearing across my face, my clothes, I thought. And then, out of pure desperation, I screamed, "I have a gun!" It was a bluff. I had nothing. But something in those words reached him. He froze, then scrambled to his feet and ran. Seconds later, I heard tires screech out of the parking lot, and then silence. Just me, on the floor, covered in someone's blood, staring up at the flickering fluorescent lights. The police arrived 10 minutes later. They saw the state I was in. They went looking for him, but I never heard from them again. No follow-up, no news report, no answers. To this day, I don't know whose blood that was. I don't know what happened that night, somewhere out there in the dark, before that man walked through my door. And sometimes, I think it's better that I don't.